Hey everyone, here saying very different and surprising 1 year. It's first birthday of my little YouTube channel. What I'm going to do is go through everything in chronological order, or most of the builds anyway, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions. It's quite interesting even as I was editing to come back and have a look at some of these. So as always, if you've got any comments, questions, do throw them in the comments. It's been an interesting year, just purely learning and figuring my way through YouTube, and yeah, a few good and bad builds. So I started off with essentially a couple random, almost test videos. One of the first ones, and this one is useful, so if you haven't seen it, even though it's not the best quality and you're not familiar with it, and that's how to keep your pliers sharp. And more importantly, which I'm sure everyone will do at some point, they'll get the nice pliers and they'll put a nick in them. So you can take that out. It's not the end of the world. The next one I got onto was my electric handy drill. This has been an interesting one. I generally don't use it for what it was intended. Occasionally I will use it for drilling, but most of the time what I've tended to use it for is a bit of light polishing. In that sense, it's been really, really good. It was not expensive, I think, say $30 or so in Australian money. So it's not something crazy or anything like that, but I do use it. I definitely do use it. It's a handy tool to have on my bench. Most of my drilling, I still just use like a pin vise or one of the handheld ones. But yeah, for what it is, what I do is a Q-tip or a cotton wool bud. I'll put that in and use that. Generally polishing. I've not really done much sanding with it, but you could. I then did a couple, what would you say, lighter videos. One was just another test one on instrument panels. And then I did a review of the 2024 FX catalogue. Interestingly, I haven't seen one of the 2025 versions this year, so I guess they're out there. Then I got onto some real planes. This one has been interesting. It's the Academy Razorback. Still quite a popular video. I get, what would I say, constant traffic there. I'd also recommend the kit itself. It's not an expensive one. It's $172. I think $20-something. Academy's always, when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're really bad. Then I did a couple of these Hobby Boss kits. These are very, very introductory, like 2-3 piece type kits, but it was kind of fun and something different. I think that was the Blue Impulse Japanese display team and this P40 where I screwed up the propeller. But yeah, they're fun little kit, and yeah, in real terms, they're very, very cheap. They're cheaper than a McDonald's Happy Meal. So I would recommend them. Just either you're on a tight budget or you're looking to get started. This was my little Mark V Spitfire, I think it was. I got a bunch of Spitfires in the stash, and it's the only one I've done in the last year. It's strange because I am a Spitfire boy, or Hurricanes and Spitfires. It's background and family influence and things there coming through. But for some reason, I just haven't done many over the last year or so. This one didn't come out the best, but yeah, I think from memory, I was messing around with the clear gloss and yeah, it looked just a bit too shiny. This was the little Hobby Boss, I was going to say Wildcat. Very nice, very nice. So for 1/72, the detail on these modern kits is really quite amazing. It's always in the what a shame category when you seal them up. You put that much, well, you can see that much detail and then you lose it. This is a D520 Duotine, come as part of the Hasegawa kit. I was messing around at the time with some scenery diorama. I don't think I got the colors quite right on that, but live and learn. And it was the first 520 I've ever done. It come, I think, with a 190. I'm trying to remember. This was a nice little kit. I'd definitely recommend it. It's the A6 A6M, whatever you saw there, the B, which for interest, the B was, well, the A6M2B, I think, with the B was the folded wing modification. And you can see there I go into actually doing the roundels with paint. Nice little kit. I'd definitely do that one again. No issues at all. And I think we're on to, oh no, we're still on that A60. Yeah, very nice. I did mess around trying to get the color just right. It's a Wheaton color, and if you get into it and you start looking in forums online, yeah, that's a whole can of worms trying to get that wheat color. The next video I did was one on scales, which was really rough. There was always, and there still is, there's always this pressure on YouTube to churn out videos. It really hates you if you don't put a video out. It does penalize you, and I've learned that the hard way a couple of times. That's an interesting shot, and it's just that little wildcat on, and J2M2, which is one of my favorite planes. That's at 520 and BF109 Hasegawa kit. Nice little kit, duo there. So yeah, it is what it is. Would I recommend it? If you saw it on sale, yeah, it's nice, but there's probably better value out there at the end of the day. And it is an older kit. Like I say, especially if you're in 172, there's a ton of really nice stuff. This is that Harrier Airfix. I did the GR9 here from memory. It is interesting, and I've got to admit, someone commented the other week about the missing tail decal. I don't know enough about it myself. This was the observer core, and the original plane I've still got there, but it did get damaged. A cat jumped on it. Interesting one, if you're wanting to go back, have a look at this one, is I go through how I make my own display stands. In this case, what I'm using is some of the Edward clear plastic. And personally, I prefer those DIY stands over the stock ones. The Airfix ones I use, but not my favorite. Interestingly, this is the Sea Fury FB11s turned out to be one of my best videos of all, and it's still up on the shelf. It is a really, really nice kit, and it's one of the ones that I'm personally proud of, just the way it come out. It's Royal Australian Navy, in case you didn't notice, but it is a really, really nice plane. I would definitely do this again. I'd recommend it. I did do years ago the Royal Navy one, that pastel colour one. This one is definitely on my wish list to buy a couple more boxes. No hesitation. It's interesting. I've just finished doing another Airfix kit, which will be up in the next week or two, and it's not fun at all. It's really not nice. For those of you that want to, put your mind at rest, it's the following that. Yeah, there's a lot nicer kits out there, I'll say that. This is my first 144, and I did make a mess of this. I'm not going to apologize. I enjoyed it, and I've got a C130J actually just to go finish the editing to come up. But yeah, 144 was interesting to me, and I did enjoy it, and I think I'd recommend just doing some of the different scales, because you do learn different techniques. This was my Airfix Club video. This one was popular, and I think it's still useful. I've got to jump back on Airfix website sometime in the next few months and sort this out. But I went into detail on, the Airfix Club from international perspective. In this case, I'm in Australia. It was great. No problem. This was the little Tamiya P51. Nice enough build. I wouldn't say I was super happy with it, but what I did do is a bit of experimenting with the metal finish, and I was quite happy with how that come out. At the end of the day, it's still a nice kit. It's one of the Tamiya older ones. I don't think they're that expensive. Maybe $30 Australian. So what's that? 20 US or something? I don't know. 15 in UK. This was probably the biggest build in the last 12 months that I've done. And as you see, it's a F4U 1D Corsair. Really, really nice. These to me are 1/32 planes. What can you say, right? They are, the engineering is just a pleasure to work with. I would say that straight up. I did do a little bit of extra detailing myself, but out of the box, there's enough detail here. Like this is just straight, what would you say, standard issue. So out of the box, you've got plenty to work with there. You can go to town, really. There is some really nice aftermarket parts for these kits too. Although the aftermarket, you end up paying as much as the kit again. And if that's what you want to do, I understand from what would you say, that like everyone has their favorites or special kits and so on. But there's a ton of aftermarket out there that you could easily spend more than what you spend on the box. I think, to me, these 132, they're excellent. The only thing, and I've mentioned this in videos a few times, where if you want to do any sort of customization or modification, they're maybe not the best. If you just want to get a really nice, a gorgeous plane that goes on the shelf, they're fantastic. And what I mean by that is things like, say, flap configurations and elevator configurations and everything. To me, in general, doesn't really like you getting too wild in that sense. But you can see there, beautiful planes. These ones, on to the next one, which is these little Hurricanes from Armour Hobby. I've still got the other one. I've got there's still one more sitting in my stash that I need to finish. Again, these modern kits, the detail is nuts. I did the Soviet winter Hurricane here, really happy with it. For some reason, it wasn't a popular video, but I do like doing the winter versions. I find the white is always a bit of a challenge to do, to be honest. And once it's done, it is really nice. They always stand out on the shelf as something a bit different. This one was a crazy experiment. As I mentioned, YouTube hates when you miss or you're not consistent. And I did have an operation and then I was on holidays everything. No excuse, but I did experiment with the metal foil and glue. So you can see there. But I think in truth, I was completely stoned a lot of the time when I was building this. I was like, what is that stuff called? I better not mention it. But yeah, it was the super strength stuff that the strongest pain reliever you can get when you're not in hospital. I was on that while I was building this. This little Provost, hunting Provost, very nice. I would recommend this one, no hesitation at all. So there it is. Again, these are nice little kits. They're not going to break the bank at all, and they're reasonably easy to get. I think the other thing I'd say is I do think, well, I'd put it another way. I wouldn't dismiss a lot of these little kits. I think it's easy to get a bit snobby or arrogant. But in this case, something like this, it's really helping you hone your painting and masking. Yeah, there's no two ways about that. So like you can see there, you can start getting a really nice, you get something really nice on the shelf and a lot of practice, which is much better to practice on these $10, $15 kits than the $200 ones. I think that, and I've been there, I think everyone has, where there's that almost impulse or urgency that you want to, I don't know what, do the 1/32 HK models Lank or something like that. But you don't want to be messing up those sorts of kits. So here's another one. This is, I can't remember, to be honest. It's the 190. Again, another nice, 190 A8 there, another Airfix one. I couldn't say anything good or bad. It's probably good in the sense that I can't think of anything to even stand out. I've got to say, 190s are a tough build. I've never done a 190 that I would say really happy with. And that's not anything in the sense of skill or whatever. I think they're just a difficult plane to, what would you say, capture or model well. And that could be completely me being a bit whack, but that's how it is. Oh yeah, don't forget, subscribe. Makes a big difference. Helps me out. That means everyone, subscribe. All right, this was part of my trip. I bought it overseas while I was traveling. I couldn't help snooping around Tamiya's store. This is the Tamiya F16. Really, really gorgeous kit. Absolutely gorgeous. For some reason, my video was crap, but yeah, this one I would definitely do again. Highly recommend it. It's not the cheapest, but again, to a degree, you get what you pay for, and there's that Tamiya quality. And I know there's always the argument like shake and bake sort of stuff, but having just spent an hour or two sanding a fallen gnat to try and get it to fit, you start appreciating when you're not messing around. Here's another one, and this was, well, what would I say? I enjoy occasionally just trying to get the metallic finishes right, and this was a post-war Tempest, I think 1947 from memory. Very nice. So yeah, before anyone has goes at me, I am an Airfix fanboy, but I'm going to call them out when they when they do have some crap out there, and there is one or two that really leave a lot to be desired. Again, this was a really nice kit. There's an interesting period in the history of aviation, probably more so in British aviation, that post-war, say 45 to 55, there was some really interesting stuff happening in different companies, and really advanced, really pushing the envelope on what they could do with some of this stuff. Nice kit, recommend it. And there you go. It looks nice on the shelf. Very happy with it. This was recent Corsair. This was, I'm trying to think. Oh, this was the Revel. And in the video, there's two parts in this video. It's a, 1970, 1971, 2 something. Either way, the kit's older than me. Again, it is what it is. You get a nice plane on the shelf. Is it as detailed as Tamiya or anything? No, but it's quarter of the price. This was my little Hasegawa anniversary for something or other. Nice plane. Actually, I've jumped ahead there, but this little Brewster Buffalo was one of my favorite builds of the last 12 months. Just the way it went together, it was an interesting build. Absolutely recommend it. This was one of the vintage classics. So, yeah, you can see there how it comes together. It was really, really nice. I enjoyed that. I'd easily buy that again, recommend it. Go get yourself one if you don't have one. It's a really nice plane because you don't get caught up in all the detail. Like the Armour Hobby and everything's great, but sometimes you're building stuff or you're painting and detailing stuff that you know you're never going to see. These older kits, I think it was a generational thing where they'd be like, why are you doing stuff that no one's going to see? Here's a nice little one. This is what I always think of these as very CIA. And this is like I always picture these as where you would be flying into Cambodia, 1971 or whatever. So there you are, the A37. And it's a plane that's not really that well known. Again, I think just from some of these smaller planes really do test your painting and detailing skills. I get that a lot of people aren't huge fan because, you really small scales, but here's what it is. Oh, and that's jumping back on that Hasegawa F15. I think it's an F15J. Really nice kit. If I'm being brutally honest, it's not something I'm hugely interested in, so I think it's a bit niche, but you end up with stuff in the stash and you build it sometimes. First chopper I did for the year, I This was another nice one. I just like the Coast Guard colour scheme, to be honest, and something different. So it's another one, very simple, not a lot of detail. I did up, or what would I say, add my own detail to it to improve it. So yeah, have a look at that one if you haven't. So you can see there, like I even add the stripes to the floor and so on from reference pics. Nice little chopper, that one. Again, not expensive, but kept me out of trouble and gave me something to do one weekend. All right, so as I say, this is it's been interesting for me to even see the progress and development over the last year of where things have got to. This was another P40. I had trouble with my camera with this one in just getting the color to look right. So you can see there the green actually looks right, but with some of the filming it really come out as quite yellow, which was a shame because I think it, what would I say, killed the video. So this is one of those ones, yeah, I got mixed feelings on. Nice enough kit, don't get me wrong, and yeah, go out and grab it. But the video itself, for whatever reason, I was just having trouble. So you can see there, you can see that it's yellow, but in reality, it is that army green. So this is the progress over last year. Like I was saying, it's been interesting for me just to look back and have a look at, yeah, how things have changed and how I've progressed. I've got a bit more daring, if you would put it that way. Millennium Falcon, again, I think this was given to me a couple years ago. It was something different, something bit of a diversion, really. And I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, but if you're interested in that, I would say it is interesting to do something different like this occasion, purely to see the difference in quality. Those Bandai people, the molding there is superb. So we're really basically catching up to the last month or two. That's a year of modelling. I do hope that everyone has enjoyed the channel. And if you've got any thoughts or opinions on how you'd like it to go or what you'd like to see, definitely let me know. So, because again, I can only guess at what people want. And just to finish up, if you haven't seen my little utility car, go check out that video. It needs some love at the moment. I think there's only a couple hundred views. Once again, subscribe, comment, give me your thoughts, opinions, tell me what you'd like to see. I've had fun, and like they say, time flies when you're having fun. Can't believe another year. So there you go. Yeah, definitely subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one, which is going to be, I think I'll put up the 130J. So have fun, stay safe. See you in the next video. Thank you once again. Bye.